And we are live. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the channel. It is Chosen Wisdom Football, a channel for the football purists, football critical thinking people, for the Man United fans who want to celebrate, who are gassed and feel good, feel happy about the match yesterday. We have beaten Liverpool at Anfield yesterday in a hard-fought win. A hard-fought victory. I have re-watched the game, people. I have also recorded my tactical analysis, which will be out later on tonight, people. And we have the fallout as usual. Monday shows will be the fallout show. The fallout show from the week's match, or should I say the weekend's match. So we have on today's show Amorim's post-match quotes. We're going to go through what Amorim has to say, what the media are trying to say, what the narrative has been, what the narrative is that the media are now going to push. Amorim has now won for the first time in his tenure here at Manchester United back-to-back games. Apparently, the first loss at Anfield in 400 days. Liverpool's fourth match they've lost in a row. This is all unprecedented stuff, really. A lot of people are taking, in my opinion, too much from the game. But it's up to you guys. You guys let me know. So today, as I said, we're going to go through Amorim's post-match quotes to see what the manager has to say about the win. We're going to look at Mbeumo and Ahmad link up. That's what I have in front of me, whatever that means. We're going to look at that. We're going to look at Cunha's quotes, his reflections on the game, as well as the fact we have to remind ourselves that we now have 12 points, people, from 6 games. It's not that bad, or is it? As usual, you guys let me know. You are the judge, jury and executioner of this channel. We have also more quotes from Bruno Fernandes regarding his position and his role, as well as De Ligt, who's come out and he's spoken about Amorim's system. Today is going to be a fallout show, guys. A lot of Man United players are speaking positively. They're saying a few things. So we're going to look at what they're saying. Look at what the topical stuff is, what has come out of the game, and what we have in store for the rest of the week. Because usually whatever comes out of the game, people, is probably going to dictate the news agenda for the rest of the week before our next game, which I believe is on Monday against Brighton, I believe. So big up the chat as usual. Big up TK in the chat and Turkish. TK already, I know my cat pillow is so powerful. He has a freaking katana above him to use at will. Don't piss off cat pillow. Don't piss off cat pillow, says TK. He's got the samurai sword above him. Big up TK in the chat. Big up Turkish. Listen, it's time to be optimistic. I will say this before the show starts, before we get into the quotes and the details. I just want to say this, people. It's okay to be excited. It's okay to celebrate the win against Liverpool. We have to celebrate wins. That's why you win. You win, you celebrate your win. But, we both watched the game. Cody Gakpo hit the post twice, and he missed almost an open goal with his head. You could argue that's 4 goals. The game could have ended 4-2 to Liverpool if they took their chances. If Isak didn't shoot straight at our goalkeeper. They had chances. They had chances to win. And I think during the press conference, the manager, Amorim, acknowledged that. He said nothing really has changed. That's one of his quotes. Nothing has changed. We're still the same team before we started the game and after we finished the game. We're the same team. The narrative will change because the media will now change the narrative and now say that we're the best team ever. We're the best team ever. That's what's going to happen. We shouldn't get gassed up too much. It's okay to feel happy that we've won while understand that we got a long road ahead of us. I will be interested to see what the discourse is and what the narrative now will be after just one victory. Yes, against Liverpool. Yes, away from home at Anfield. Yes. But what's the media now going to do? Let's pay attention to that, people. Anyway, big up the chat. Big up Sausage. Did someone say 2-1 United? Did someone say United take a step forward? Yes, you did, Express. Yes, you did. The guru, you were the guru in today's game. Or should I say yesterday's game. Sausage, he called it. In the chat, he called it 2-1 to Man United, and that is what happened. So, big up Sausage in the chat. Big up my guy. You called it, and so it was. Amen. Anyway, let's get into it, people. Let's get into it. So he was asked about the support of the fans and the team, essentially. And he just said this: the fans have always supported me, even when all of you said I would be gone by Christmas. I think that's a really big quote, because now the manager's beaten Liverpool. What's his talk going to be like? Is he going to walk around with his third leg swinging? Is he going to walk around with his third leg swinging like, yeah, I'm the daddy? What's his swagger now going to be like after beating Liverpool? And if we lose the next game, will he have to go back into hiding? What's the feeling? So this, for me, is an insight. Is an insight, into his thinking. He's also having a dig at the journalists. Everyone reporting saying he'll be gone by Christmas. He's also showing that he's aware of what's being said. He's also showing in this one quote, that he's reading the news. He understands the negativity. He hears what's being said. He's also showing that the fans, and to be honest, he's talking about the fans in the stadiums. Because I'm not going to lie, there's a lot of fans who want him out and still want him out. So he's alluding to the fans who've always sang his name. The fans who started singing his name the minute he arrived at Old Trafford. For me, personally, those fans need to be put in the bin. I'm being honest. This is Chosen Wisdom being honest right now. If you sing the manager's name before he's even done anything, the minute he steps foot into the club, you've got a song for him and you started singing him. He hasn't earned anything. He hasn't won a game. 24% win ratio. And you're singing his name. You are the problem. So I'm just saying that is an issue. The fact that we've allowed this man and the fan base, the people in the stadium have allowed a 24% win ratio, and they continue to sing his name. They don't put any pressure on him. Those fans are a problem. They're one of the reasons why we're in this mess, because they don't fight the Glazers. They don't do anything. They're the happy to be here kind of fans. They are. I don't care how anyone feels about it, but that's the truth. But either way, I think this quote is a very, very interesting quote, people. Very, very interesting quote. Let's move on. Once again, this is in relation to the game and the spirit and the fight that they showed. He said, I'm always saying the same thing. If we showed the spirit that we showed today, every day in training and in games, we are going to win so many games. For that, we need to take action, not speak about it. I think we can all agree on that as a channel, as a community, that, we don't always show the same level of aggression, spirit, drive, the kind of thing that the likes of Roy Keane will talk about. There's no passion, there's no drive. And I would say, what are you talking about? I just want talented footballers. Yes, we want talented footballers, but we need the same intensity, same drive, aggression, proactiveness that we show when we play Liverpool. We need to maintain that against the smaller teams. That's now the next thing. How do we, and TK will talk about this, TK says this all the time, why do we raise our game against the bigger teams, but against the lower teams, mentally we're just not ready, we're just not prepared, we're not strong enough, we're not quick enough? That's the next step, right? So that's that. Let's go on to the next one. Let's see what the chat is saying before we move on. Turkish eggs, bacon, grits, sausage. Big up sausage. Big up sausage in the chat. TK says, I watched this match with my father, who is a huge Liverpool fan. He pointed out that unlike they usually do, United didn't look rattled once even Gakpo was rattling the post. TK, that's something that I was going to literally come on to, TK. And the manager also alluded to that in his post-match press conference. He said that when we went down, or when Liverpool equalised, when we were under pressure, we didn't cave in. We didn't look rattled. Even after they equalised, we continued playing our game, which we were under pressure and they had more possession than us. And we were, at that time, a very counter-attacking team. You know, we're taking off Ahmad, taking off Casemiro. We were literally camping on our own box, counter-attacking, but we still didn't look flustered. We didn't look worried. And that is a sign that could be, TK, could be a turning point. You let me know if you agree. Could it be? So I agree with TK on that point. Big up your dad as well, TK. I don't know how he's a Liverpool fan and you're a Man United fan, but it is what it is. When people ask him why I support United instead of Paul, he says I'm adopted. Oh, that's a typical dad. Dads have no chill. Dads got bants, you know. Dads. But you could be though, TK. Imagine him playing with your head. But are you sure you're not? Are you sure you're not adopted, TK? Anyway, when Ruben Amorim spoke about Ahmad, he was asked about Ahmad, and you know how I feel about Ahmad Diallo. He is my favourite player at Manchester United by a long distance. So Ruben Amorim says Ahmad is doing so well in this position. He is perfect for this position. He was upset when I made the change to take him off, but he had been warned and there were a lot of 1v1s. That's the reason. Essentially, he's saying, listen, the reason, because don't forget, we were watching the match together, guys, and I said, why has the manager gone defensive? Why has he taken off Ahmad and replaced him with Dorgu? What is he doing? So he's giving us the reason here. He says that one, Ahmad was booked, I believe, in the first half for a challenge, which I don't think he should have been booked for. Cool, fine. He was booked. The manager is saying, listen, there's going to be a lot of 1v1s in the second half. He's going to be pulled and tested. I don't want him to be booked again. Similar to Casemiro, I don't want him to be booked again. So I'm going to take these two players off to protect them. That seems to be the thinking behind taking off Ahmad Diallo, to protect his prize asset, Ahmad. He said Ahmad is perfect. Perfect for this position. Ahmad will be our right wing back as long as Ahmad wants the position and wants to continue playing that position, because you could argue you're still taking away from his attacking ability. He will be our right wing back for the next 5-6 years if we keep this manager. That's his position. The manager said he's perfect. He's perfect for that position. Perfect. In my head, guys, I'm thinking if we can get someone like Semenyo as a left wing back, Ahmad as the right wing back, ooh wee, that would be, oh shit. If we could get that, my gosh, that's my dream. Semenyo on the left, Ahmad on the right. Listen, that would be absolutely cold. Argue with your mama. Don't argue with me, because that's facts. Yeah. But anyway, off topic a little bit. I like Ahmad's performance yesterday. I was annoyed when he was taken off, but at least the manager has come out and he's explained why. Sometimes that's all we need as fans. Sometimes we're shaking our head, we're scratching our heads, and we're like, what's going on with this manager? Why is he doing all these things? If he comes out after the game and says, boom, I did this because of this, and there's some logical explanation, I'm good. I'm good. He goes on to say, otherwise, no, he would have stayed. He is very important to us. That's all I want to hear. This music to my ears. You know, but sometimes it's like when people talk about Ahmad, and I'm like, listen, are you watching the same player? Do you not understand how good Ahmad is as a footballer? I am glad that Ruben Amorim, because we know Ruben loves Ahmad. We know he loves Ahmad. Absolutely. He plays Ahmad right wing back, plays Ahmad right 10, plays Ahmad left 10. No other footballer that we have in this squad, by a long distance, he can do that with. He trusts to do that. There is no other footballer in this squad that he trusts to play all of those positions. None. In fact, there's nobody in this squad that can play all those positions. None. Sometimes I feel like the fan base don't understand how good Ahmad is. That he can score those goals against Man City. He can pluck the ball from the air, go around the goalkeeper, score those 2 goals against Man City, score a hat-trick from right wing back, the first footballer in the history of the league to do this. Do all of these amazing things, and people still want to be negative about him. I'm glad that Ruben understands Ahmad's power, fully backs Ahmad, and Ahmad's here. He's our future. So, you know, I love Ahmad. I'm gonna be saying my bias. I am biased towards Ahmad. I am. I'll be honest with you guys. I love Ahmad, and I can't do anything about it. I love Ahmad Diallo. So, cool. Great stuff. I'm happy about that. Let's see what you guys are saying. Let's see what the chat is chatting. Big up Shivam in the chat. Tim in the chat as well. Big up people. Hope you're having a good day. I hope you've been sticking it to Liverpool fans, because I see Liverpool fans crying. Absolutely crying. I see Slot coming up with the most ridiculous excuses again. I'm not gonna lie, Slot looks like Bumberclad. Slot looks like he's crumbling. It is a beautiful sight, guys. Listen, sometimes you just enjoy the small things. That's all I am saying. Big up Shivam in the chat. Everyone in, yep. Hope you're having a good day. Sausage, Tim. Is it Diwali? Diwali. Happy Diwali, people. Happy Diwali, everybody. Dun, 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 dun. Who's this? Dun, 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 dun. Who watches WWE? Who has any idea what this is? £2 if you can guess what this is. Which character am I trying to be? In WWE. He's not in WWE anymore. Anyway, I am gassed today. I'm in a good mood. Just letting the results sink in. TK, crazy win yesterday. Yeah, man. Sing songs. It's Diwali. Man United have won. Sometimes it's good to be silly and be happy, guys. And we can do this. Yes, Turkish, one of the major festive, all fireworks. Big up everybody who is celebrating Diwali, the festival of light. Don't know. Year 5, religious studies. You know, I remember my religious studies in school. Diwali, festival of light. Get me? Someone should dress seagulls in Liverpool kits for next weekend. I bet we get a better result. TK. That sounds good. That sounds that we should do that, because against Brighton, listen, Brighton, wow, thanks Wiz, channel for the wishes, means a lot. Big up Shivam, bro. Come on, man, this channel's for everything, bro. It's a community out here, man. You know what I'm saying? What's Sausage saying? This was Harry Maguire's first win at Anfield as a United player. Whoa, Sausage, that's crazy. Harry redeemed himself for that miss last season. Oh, yeah. That miss last season, and people try to blame Xerxes for the pass. Nah, I remember that miss. Oh, Maguire. I wanted to fight Maguire. Me and Maguire need to do 2 rounds, 3 minutes. 2 3-minute rounds, I swear down. Yo, Kenya. Hey, big up. Make sure, what's it? Yakub from Kenya. Listen, my African brothers and sisters, I love you. I love you. Kenya, I want to go. I need to go Uganda first. I'm not gonna lie, sorry. I need to go Uganda first and then Kenya. And then maybe like Ghana or Nigeria. Maybe. So big up Yaya from Kenya. I don't agree with the narrative running for Cunha. He keeps walking a lot and doesn't press and doesn't pass in the final third. Because of him, we can't play Sesko and Mount starts. What do you all feel? That's a good question, Shivam. You guys weigh in on that. I'm going to weigh in on that, Shivam, in about a couple of minutes, because we're going to look at Cunha's quotes. And I'm going to ask you, Shivam, whether you agree with Cunha's quotes. I want to know your point of view, bro. Your perspective. So let's quickly go on. Okay, what's Ruben Amrim saying now? What's Ruby saying in the wise words of TK? So yeah, he was asked about what Man United can achieve this season. And this, you guys, let me know what you think about this in terms of any kind of mind games he's trying to play here or anything. He says, I want you guys to continue with the same narrative. He's talking to the media here. He's telling the media to don't change. Stay where you are. Keep criticizing me. Continue. Don't try to be on my side now. That's crazy what he said. I want you to continue with the same narrative. That is best for me. So I will not now increase the goal, i.e., say we want top 2 and top 3. No. We are rubbish. We're going to finish 10th, 15th. That's what you said. So if we finish above that, then that's good. Don't try to change the narrative now and be like, oh, top 4 and all these things. That's not what you guys were saying. He said, what we need to do is win 3 games in a row. That's what we need to do. That's all that matters. Just win 3 games in a row. Forget the narratives. Forget all these other things. Just win the next game. I have criticized Amrim a lot with regards to his press conferences and how he speaks. And he's not perfect. We know he isn't perfect. He says a lot of things that he shouldn't be saying. Like, sometimes I want to quit. Sometimes I want to stay. Sometimes I hate. We've heard these quotes before, and these quotes are not good. Right? And when we're not doing well, these quotes stick out like a sore thumb. When we are doing well, those quotes don't matter as much. Now that we're doing okay, we won a match, he's taken a fight to the journalists. Stay there. Stay over there. Don't change. You're on my neck. Keep doing your thing. We're rubbish. Keep saying your thing. Don't change your narrative after one win. After one win. Just one win. What's changed from last week apart from just winning 1 game? Why will the narrative change so much after just 1 win? Don't be hypocrites. So that's all I'm taking. I'm taking all of that from this one sentence or 1 or 2 sentences from this manager. I want to know what you guys are taking, if anything, from these quotes. Very, very interesting. Anyway, is that the same interview? This is different. All right. So this isn't a post-match question, but this is definitely a question that was posed in the pre-match, the embargoed interview, the one that we didn't see. And he's asked about Manu and Xerxes. Just to finish off, he's just reiterated, there are players and we need everyone to have a good season. They want to play and there's a World Cup. Agents listen to the players and are talking all the time. It doesn't really say anything. He's not saying they're going to play. He's not promising anything in this quote. He's just basically saying they want to play and there is a World Cup year. So he understands this, but he's still not playing Zirkzee, even though he knows he could play him. Very, very interesting quote, but this was not a post-match quote, so perhaps we shouldn't have put this in the show, but it is a quote, very interesting one nonetheless, for you guys to maybe have a conversation about. So I think those are most of Amorim's quotes. So are we going to go to Cunha? Since you guys are talking about Cunha, let's go to Cunha then. You guys want to talk about Cunha? Let's go straight to the Cunha quotes before we talk about anything else. So this is Cunha's quotes after the game, people. Of course, everyone wants to perform more in individual terms, numbers and everything. But I think the first point to be here is to help the team to come back to the glory there is now. Okay, I understand what he means, but the English is not the greatest. I think if this is my part right now, I am happy. I will try everything. And then, of course, the other part of individual things will come. And then I'll be happy also. All right. So to me, it sounds as if, guys, if I can paraphrase for this guy, the English is a bit off. The translation's a bit weird, but it sounds like he's just saying, listen, I understand individually I have to put up numbers. I have to do certain things as an individual. And he's put that pressure on himself. And we can see that so far, 7-8 games, there's no goals and there's no assists from Cunha. About 20% now of our games have been played and he hasn't come up with a stat. But on this channel, I think we can look past stats, because when we score a goal, the whole team scores the goal. Yes, there's one player who puts the ball in the back of the net, but for the ball to get to that player, the whole team is involved. Cunha, even though he hasn't scored or assisted, he has been, I would say, good without being spectacular, without being amazing, without being brilliant. He's been good. Good as in, if I was to amalgamate all his matchday ratings, I would give him a solid 7 out of 10. Some games he's had a 5. Some games he's had an 8. He's been the best player. So I would give him a solid 6.5 maybe. 7 out of 10. My issue with Cunha at the moment, guys, is the fact that I believe, and I've said this before, he is the maverick player. He's the player that wants to play everywhere, turn up everywhere. The ball has to come to him, come to his feet. I said that we cannot have more than 1 or 2 players who are like that in our team, who come out of position, leave their position. We can't have Bruno, who's a bit like that, and Cunha. I also think Cunha is snatching at everything. I think he knows that he needs to put up numbers, just like Ahmad does. And therefore, he wants to do a bit more. He wants to dribble just a bit more, hold onto the ball just a bit longer than he should. We've seen him do this, and that is his issue right now. He could have had 1 or 2 assists, I think, Cunha, if he just released the ball just a second quicker. Just a second quicker. I see people saying that he was the best player on the pitch against Liverpool. I don't fully agree. I think he was very good. He had very good moments. I remember there was a time where he had the ball on the left-hand side and he had 2 players around him. He fell down with 2 players around him, still managed to retain the ball. I think he did a bit of skill, evaded those 2 players and continued. When I saw that, I was like, wow. Wow, this guy. If we can get Cunha just flying. I think Cunha is the sort of player that we have to play through. He needs us to play through him. He's that kind of player. He needs to learn to be one of many rather than one of one. I think playing with Wolves taught him that he's the main guy. Everything goes through him. He can get the ball, do what he wants. He can lose the ball 100 times. It's fine. But playing for Man United, you almost can't play that way. Not anymore. You don't have a free role. You don't have the freedom to just do whatever you want as much. There's a bit more responsibility. So I feel like Cunha just needs to maybe simplify his game a little bit. The issue that I have when I say that, when I say simplify his game, I don't want to take, you know, when you don't want to take anything away from a player's natural instinct. I don't want to tell him to simplify his game and then we don't see Cunha. We don't see the real Cunha because he's a bit, do you know what I'm saying? We've got to be careful that we're not taken away from his natural ability to do things on the pitch. So that's kind of where I am with Cunha. I understand his ability. I know how good he is. We're just not fully seeing it right now. And it's not appearing to us in the most likeliest ways because we focus on stats, goals and assists. If I was to tell you that Eden Hazard was Chelsea's best player, but he didn't get loads of assists because he got the assist before the... Eden Hazard will dribble past 3 players, right? Give the ball to like an Oscar. Then Oscar would get the assist. Even though Eden Hazard beat 2 players. Cunha could be that player. Cunha could be somebody who evades challenges, opens up the game for us, might not get too many goals or assists because he does the work before the assist takes place. So it's not all about looking at goals and assists. I don't like the GA world anyway. This GA mad world. We have to be able to look at performances and assess players independently away from any goals and assist metric. But we've lost the ability to think about and critically think about football. So we rely on GA. How many GA does he have? How much GA? Oh, he's got 0 GA. It means he's being crap. No. Not so simple. Not so simple. So that's where I am. I know that's a long ass talk about Cunha, but I felt like I just needed to put it out there and be thorough. Be as thorough as possible in my assessment of Cunha. You guys will be different. I know that. And I need it to be different because I don't want an echo chamber. I need to hear someone tell me I'm wrong and for someone to say that they think differently. Let's quickly see the chat. Big up from Kenya. Yep, Shivam said, I don't agree with the right Cunha. I think Cunha did some decent work, says Tim. Shivs, the player that walked the most in La Liga was Messi. He walked more than any other player. He is smart to read the game and run when he needs to. Cunha walks to preserve energy. I'm okay with him. Also, let's not forget that the Wolves fans did tell us that he walks a lot. This was something that was said about him. What we don't want to do, guys, is know that he walks a lot, because that's something that we know. He walks a lot. Let's not complain about something that we already know that he does. He walks a lot, but for me, what are his running stats? Whenever someone tries to call another player lazy, I'm not trying to say that's the case, but whenever anyone tries to call Pogba lazy or whoever lazy, I always used to say, that's your perception. Give me the running stats. How many meters, how many miles did this player run? Let me know, because your perception might not be the reality. It might not be. It might not be, people. Turkish says Cunha was good for us and he's going to be a pivotal player. TK, he is Messi. He's a fool to walk. He scored 92 in a season. Cunha can't do that. I understand that point as well, Shivam. That's the big fish in small pond. As I said before, maybe for Wolves he could do it a bit more. For United, we might not be as receptive to that thing, to walking around as much. We might not be. But Shivam says the comments don't match the performance. 0 GA and no pressing. That's just a statement to look better. He's absolutely great. I'm not denying, but needs to pass more and press. Yeah, Shivam's saying he's not saying he's a bad footballer. Shivam's saying he just needs to improve on these things. And I get you, Shivam. You're not saying he's rubbish. He's just saying you want more from him. And these are the things you want to see him do. I've got time for that. I don't see anything wrong with that at all. Yes, Shivam. Cunha likes holding the ball. Don't know why. But the thing is, I've seen Cunha hold the ball when we don't want him to. When we want him to release it. But I've also seen Cunha hold the ball when we do want him to. When we want him to get a foul. When we want him to evade 2 challenges and get past his man. When we want him to hold the ball up, sometimes he does. So it's like he needs to find the sweet spot of when to hold on to the ball and when not to. He needs to figure that out. When to pass and when not to pass. That fine balance. Bruno has been playing out of position since starting Ahmad as well. Plus Ahmad as well. They are adapting. Yep, that is also true. Hope they adapt as a group. Sausage Express says, sorry everyone, what is this cat pillow talk? I'm just reading. Listen, leave me out of the cat pillow. But the cat pillow is TK. This is cat pillow. Somehow, okay, this is the history of cat pillow. There's technically 2 pillows, right? And they're both cat designs, kind of African cat designs, essentially. And somehow, and we listen, some things you just don't argue, just let it happen. The cat pillow is his own character, bro. Whenever cat pillow is prominent, whenever we can see him, we don't hide him. Apparently we win. So cat pillow is taking a life. I mean, I can't really explain it. TK can explain it. TK can explain it, but cat pillow has taken on its own role. It's his own person, bro. I don't know. But it is what it is. It is what it is. It's a bit of fun, man. Just a bit of fun. As TK says, he's the alpha. And the alpha and the omega. Oh, man. Plus, there's other things on the wall. There's African stuff on the wall. There's a samurai sword. Samurai sword on the wall and all these things. So, it is what it is, people. It is what it is. What the hell? What the helly? Martin Lewis Skelly. Cunha is a great player. United has the greatest shirt. The two need to align. Cunha has what it takes. But yes, you are correct in pointing out his poor start. Yeah. Poor start in statistical terms, in terms of GA. We'll say that. Can we say that, people? Shivam says, Wiz, you know the Cunha debate. We all agree he's one of the best. If he upgrades on these 2 points, we're going to definitely score more. My concern, because he doesn't press, Mount starts and Sesko is bench. Yeah. But what we're asking Cunha to do is not a difficult change. You know, when we're asking a player who can't shoot to shoot, that's never going to happen. If we're asking a player who cannot dribble to then start dribbling, that's not going to happen. All we're asking Cunha to do is release the ball a bit quicker. That is an easy adaptation. It's an easy adaptation that he can make. So that's why I've got no issues with Cunha. I've got no issues with him. Just like when you guys were talking about Ahmad, right? And you were saying because Ahmad doesn't release the ball as quick as you wanted him to in his first few games, we should sell him. And I said, bro, that's not a difficult fix. It's not something to do with his technical ability that he can't improve. It's just you having a conversation. You putting your arm around Ahmad and said, Ahmad, by the way, just release the ball a bit quicker. Boom. He releases the ball a bit quicker. Like, these things are small fixes and they don't mean we need to get rid of players. You asking Chosen to brush his teeth twice a day rather than once a day. It's an easy fix. I could do it morning and night. Boom, it's done. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But yeah, let me know, guys. Let's move on. Let's move on to any other things you guys want to have a conversation about. Any more topical stuff? What's the Ahmad and Boomer link up? Queenie has also posted this actually. All about hard work and passion. What a time. Listen, if this win against the champions, let's not forget, shall I say, what we've just did. We've beaten the champions at Anfield. That's what we've done. If this gives these players confidence in the system, because don't forget, some of us, including myself, are still questioning the manager and questioning the system. I'll be clear, I am. This hasn't changed much. It hasn't changed much. Liverpool were there like a wounded gazelle for the taking, just like Man City were, just like Arsenal were. We got it done. We got it done this time. As I said before, Gakpo hit the post twice, missed an open goal with his header. The game could have been 4-2 to Liverpool. Let's not pretend it couldn't have. It could have. We scored very early. The game went in our favour. So I would say that I haven't moved my position as much as maybe some others. I need to see what we do now against the smaller teams again. I need to see whether this is something new, if this is a turning point, or if we've just raised our game against Liverpool and we'll be back to normal against Brighton on Monday. I need to see this before I get my thing out and start spraying everywhere. Anyway, inappropriate, but it is what it is. Anyway, this is not news, guys, but I feel like I'm vindicated. I have on this channel and in my tactical analysis videos been speaking about these two. I am one of the few people that have analyzed their relationship, analyzed the way they play in depth, and I've started to say how they're starting to understand each other and their relationship. Even my tactical analysis video that I'm going to release later on tonight, I allude on it, I touch on it one more time for about 2 minutes. The goal that we scored, the first goal we scored, Ahmad was holding the width and Bryan Mbeumo was running through on goal in the number 10 position. A month ago, 3 games ago, the run that Bryan Mbeumo would have made, would have been an inside to out run. He would be running towards Ahmad from inside to out. He wouldn't have been running towards goal. The more Bryan Mbeumo holds the inside channel and not hog that right wing position, because Bryan Mbeumo wants to be, he's an outside forward. He wants to start wide and drift infield. Same as Ahmad. They want to do the same thing. If Bryan Mbeumo continues holding his position inside, giving Ahmad space to work with on the outside, we will play better. We will play better. Ahmad is very good 1v1. When Ahmad is 1v1 with his defender at the edge of their box, problems. Bryan Mbeumo, get out of the way. Get out of the way. I know you're very good there. You can deliver really good crosses there. But Ahmad, and I like the way they alternate. I've seen Ahmad hold the inside and I've seen Bryan Mbeumo hold the width. As long as they can alternate and do it intelligently, I don't mind, people. I really don't mind. I said before, if they get this right, these two on the right hand side, it should be the best right hand side or one of the best right hand sides in the Premier League. It should be, if they get it right. What's a better right hand pairing than Bryan Mbeumo and Ahmad in the Premier League? I'm asking the chat a question. There might be a few better, but not many. Not many. So I'm glad that more and more people are starting to understand this and starting to talk about this. Good. Very good. They're building their relationship. I feel like people are watching my content and stealing my shit. I'm a small channel with only 500 subscribers. So it is what it is. That's funny. That's funny. But I'm pretty sure they're Liverpool fans. Yeah, that's funny. But I don't know. Listen, sometimes you got to laugh, man, and have a bit of fun. Um, let's see what the chat is saying. I wonder why is Amorim benching Sesko? Is he protecting him from the media backlash if Sesko doesn't perform in a big game? Um, according to the interview that he gave Yaya, it sounded like he benched Sesko because that fluid front three of Cunha, Mount, and Mbumo that go all over the place, that switch positions and stuff. His idea of that is that it's supposed to be harder to mark. You have Cunha up front sometimes, then you have Mason Mount up front, then you have Brian Mbumo. Our first goal was scored because both Brian Mbumo and Cunha were not up front occupying the defender. They were both between the lines, and they both, Cunha and Brian Mbumo, made runs from between the lines off the back of Virgil van Dijk. Those are very difficult to mark, those kind of runs, when you're between the lines and you're making a run behind your defender rather than standing next to your defender. So Sesko would occupy the defender, stand with him. Our 310s are supposed to be playing between the lines, being a nuisance, being harder to mark. The manager thinks the fluid front three system, where we're pressing all the time, we're supposed to be pressing all the time, sometimes will perform better, serve him better than Sesko being a target man. Because Sesko is kind of a target man, isn't he? So, yeah. So, that's probably one of the reasons why Sesko didn't play. But Sesko will play games. We've seen him play games. I think what we need to get into the habit of now, since we've seen this, since we've seen Mason Mount, we've seen his fluid front three against Arsenal, I think we just need to get into the realization that he's going to chop and change. And people who criticize Amorim for not being as flexible, he's kind of showed us that he can be, maybe not change his formation and his system, but the personnel and the way he implements his system. He's shown that he can adapt a little bit. That's my thing, Yaya. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just letting you know what the manager probably is thinking. Anyway, pre-match, Amorim said that Virgil van Dijk and other Liverpool defenders are good in the air and could counter Sesko. So he's also saying, listen, playing Sesko and putting the balls in the air for Sesko might not be the best way to go about it, because Virgil van Dijk and others will just swamp him, will destroy him. So he wanted to start Cunha, where we'd be forced to play the ball on the ground. So I don't know, guys. That's probably what our manager is thinking. Yaya, I think Ruby is protecting and developing Sesko just fine. He plays him enough, unlike Erik ten Hag, who played Højlund and let him sink. That's also a thing as well, TK. I did say that as much as I think Højlund needed to be sold, Højlund wasn't bought to be the main striker straight away. He was bought as a developmental striker, and we played him every game, every Premier League game. Even when Zexi was fit, he never played. So, I mean, Zexi was playing under this manager, to be fair, rather than Ten Hag. But Sesko needs to be developed, and I'm okay with Sesko not playing every single game. I'm okay with that. I mean, playing him less, and that helps Sesko development. Yeah, I think Sesko will be fine. Sesko came on in the second half. He contributed. My concern is the fact that Zexi not getting any minutes at all. Some of you won't mind that, but for me, I would like to see Zexi get some minutes personally. Shivam says, we are still far away from Amorim Bull. Currently, he's just trying to grind in results. We have to give him time, and these players better be consistent. You can't beat champions and lose to mid-team. We'll see, Shivam. We'll see what happens. Unfortunately, guys, we're going to have to wait 7 days because our next game is on a Monday. which is quite annoying, isn't it? It's quite annoying, guys. Let's be real. Yeah, Yaya says maybe, but sometimes we need negativity to perform like the GOAT Ronaldo survive against all odds. I think Yaya, that's what the manager was saying in his pre-match press conference when he was telling the media to just continue with your narrative. He wants the us against the world, backs against the wall. He wants that siege mentality. He wants the negativity so he can get his team and get his players to just look at all what they're saying about you. They don't rate you. They don't like you. Sometimes you can use that to your advantage to galvanize the team, to tell the team, look, they don't like you. The media's on your back. Prove them wrong. Go out there and prove them wrong. Sometimes, like Yaya says, you need a bit of negativity. You need the obstacle to overcome. So, it is what it is. Baleba playing against us will want to show he's worth buying. Listen, Baleba hasn't played well this season, and I wouldn't be surprised if he just turns up and against us on Monday and says, yeah, this is what you're getting for 110 million. United are dripping in negatives last 5 years. We now see Virgil van Dijk saying that it's spreading at Liverpool too. TK, we might start to understand a bit more what, and when I say that mentality, your brain, this is 50% of your ability. Like 50% of a footballer's ability is what they can do with the ball. Your technical, your physical, your athletic ability, your body. But 50% is up here. If you can't get it right up here, if you're not at one, if you're not at peace up here, it's hard for you to play football. If I'm tired, yeah, and I go to the office, I'm not on form. And what I'm doing is not even physical. I'm just sitting on my desk typing some shit. But if I'm tired, I can't play. I can't work to my full potential. So imagine doing something physical. In order to push your hardest, in order to run your hardest, to kick your hardest, you have to be right, even more right up here than you would if you're doing an office job where you're not doing anything physical apart from this. Your mental capacity as a footballer is probably the most important thing. I feel like back in the day we had, Fergie was a psychologist, right? The best managers back in the day were psychologists, they were sociologists. Fergie would understand humans. Fergie would know when to slap you in your head and when to hug you. He would understand how to treat footballers differently. He would psychoanalyze footballers and be like, this footballer, a Martial, needs a hug. Wayne Rooney doesn't want a hug from me. He wants to kick up the arse. Change, adapt. The psychology departments in football clubs are slowly going to be the most important departments. How to mentally condition footballers is going to be, especially in this day and age where things are changing. You could argue, and I hate saying this, I wasn't say footballers are softer. I don't like using the word soft because the times have changed, but they are different mentally than the footballers back then. They are. Anyway, what are you guys saying? I lied, guys. The game is on Saturday, not Monday. Yeah, Tim is right in the chat. The game is on Saturday, not Monday. Why am I saying? You guys just let me say Monday for so long. You didn't correct me. Thank you, Tim. But I think Bournemouth is on Monday, isn't it, Tim? And Brighton's on Saturday. Am I right, Tim? I can't remember. But cool. I'm CR7. I'm going to disagree. He doesn't have the body strength of Ronnie. I think Messi will have a hard time in the Prem. I've said this. I think I've said something very that people won't always agree, and I've said some of the best footballers that we've ever seen wouldn't have been as good if they played in the Prem. I'm thankful some of the best footballers played in Italy and played in Spain, because I feel like if they had a career in the Prem, we wouldn't have seen some of the things we saw from them. I honestly believe that, but that might be an unpopular opinion. It looks like you guys are having a conversation. Messi struggled in League One with Neymar and Mbappe. Yeah, would he struggled the right word to say there? Did he struggle? I think the team struggled. I think having three maverick players who don't want to trap back, who don't want to press as much. Yeah, I think it's difficult. I think it's difficult. Everton on Monday, says Tim. Okay, Tim. Big up Tim in the chat. More positive stuff, guys. Listen, we can do positivity on this chat. If we win a game, we will be happy about it and we'll talk it and we'll gas and we'll just have some fun. All right. But if we lose, I'm not gonna come on here and be like, yes, we lose. Let's be positive. Yes, be toxic positivity. We lost 5-0. Let's be positive. I don't know why I did that. That's dumb. I'm not gonna do that. All right. But thanks for Statman Dave. Even though we don't need Statman Dave to tell us this. But 12 points in 6 Premier League matches. Only Man City with 13 and Arsenal with 13 have picked up more in that period. He says the tide is turning. Where are you guys? Can we conclude with that? Where are you guys? Where is the chat? Where's the community at? How gassed up are you? How much are you putting into that performance, into that match? Considering I've watched it again and we could have easily lost the game, actually. Where are you putting that performance? Is the tide turning? Do you think this could be something? Have you reevaluated where we could finish this season? I'll be very, very interested. What are you saying, Tim? I guess you must have talent at that level. So yeah, confidence is huge differential. Yeah, I feel like, well, not just confidence as well. I feel like footballing IQ. When I say here, I don't mean confidence. I mean your footballing IQ, your understanding of the game. Some footballers understand their role and their role only, but they don't understand the bigger picture. There's some footballers who just understand football. There's some footballers who just focus on their own position and where they need to be and don't understand the bigger picture of the whole game. Decision making. What decisions to make, when, where, when to pass, when to shoot. So yes, confidence, but just everything. Your brain controls everything anyway. Need to keep going, but positive signs, says Tim. Okay, cool. So that's some positivity for us. It looks like we are heading in the right direction. And to be honest, even though right now, no, unlike Shivam, I don't fully buy into the manager. I can be changed. I can be swayed. I'm not somebody who is fast and fixed. I don't feel like if you change your mind, you're a flip-flop. I feel like if more evidence is presented in front of me, if I see more things that I like, then I will change my mind. I always say, what's the point of having a mind, a complex, beautiful brain, if you don't change it when new evidence is presented to you? If we continue to improve, if the manager finds a way of playing that looks good, that is sustainable, if I continue to see some things, I will change my position. Of course I will. It's not about pride. It's not about being stubborn. It's not about saying, I told you so. I have no issues. There's no ego. If I'm wrong, I will come on this channel and I'll say, guys, I was wrong, and then we will move on. I don't have the same issues as everyone else. It's not that deep. It really isn't. It's only football. Like, So it is what it is. Look at Jamie Carragher. Look at Jamie Carragher's face. This, like the caption says, inject it into my veins. Jamie Carragher frustrates me. He's always trying to, he's always got his knife out and trying to dig at Man United. Casemiro and Pogba and these players in the shush. Shush, Jamie. Shush. Gary's face. Oh man. Cool. That's funny. That's Ahmad Diallo replying on Lenny Euro's post right now, saying that he is Rio Ferdinand. And you know, it's good to see. It's good to see. Inject this positivity into my veins, people. Let's see what's Bruno saying. All right, so this is Bruno Fernandes's quotes on his position. Let's run through his quotes quickly, guys. He says, when I was doing so well as a number 10 in the past, I had Matic and Pogba, who were great at playing the ball through the lines. Sometimes I forget, or I won't say I forget. Sometimes we forget that when we were finishing second and finishing third in the Premier League, we had Paul Pogba and Matic, two players, especially Pogba, that we didn't appreciate. And as soon as we got rid of those players, we never saw second, third. We never saw these positions again. Amazing footballers, especially Pogba. Always finding Bruno between the lines. He says, now Casemiro is very good at doing that with one touch. We've seen Casemiro do the one touch over the top, you know, when he gets a ball and he does the sort of clipped over the top ball with just one touch. Casemiro is very good at distributing the ball. Very underrated, actually, now. He's got better at it. Because we never saw him do it that much at Madrid. Toni Kroos, Modric, they were better at it. They did it more than he did. But he's shown that he can do it. It's interesting that he goes on to say in these quotes that Ugarte is more of a player who's going to hunt the ball and recover. So even Bruno, the rest of the team and the rest of the squad, their ability to identify the strengths of each other is very good. I always say this. One of the first things you need to do in a team is get the players to understand each other. Get this player to understand that this player is a very good short passer, but not a very good long passer. This player is a very good dribbler, one-on-one, but he's not very quick. If the players understand each other's limitations, each other's strength, then we play better. If this player knows that this player is slow, then he will not put any balls over the top for this player to run for, because he knows he's not going to get it. If you understand each other, you will know what passes to play to each other, where to run, where not to run, what spaces to occupy, and so on. Relationships, cohesion. So he goes on to say, Manu is a player who we know can break the lines, but breaks the lines in a different way. Breaks the lines by driving with the ball, with the power he has and the ability in tight spaces to get away from players. I like this. I like this because it shows Bruno, and if Bruno understands this, it must mean the manager does. It must mean the players do. If you understand each other and how you play, okay, cool, I've got a runner here. I've got someone who can play the ball with tight spaces here. I've got a Xerxes who is strong, not very quick, not very good at shooting, but he's strong. He's very good in tight spaces. He can shield the ball. Once you understand the profiles as a player, you will play better with each other. And I like that. Self-identification. Beautiful. Beautiful. So I like this quote from Bruno. I like it. He's not having to dig at anybody. He's just stating what players' strengths are and what he liked. He goes on to say, any manager who comes here will be one game away from a crisis. At this club, it's always like that. That's also awareness. If you win a game, he says, it looks like you're going to win the league. If you lose a game, it looks like there's a cloud over the club that won't go away. Which is true. Which is true. He's talking about the bipolar nature of this football club as it stands. And I've spoken to you guys in the chat about if we attach ourselves to this club that goes like this, up and down, win is the best thing ever. We're going to win the league, lose, we're going to get relegated, the manager's the worst. If if we attach ourselves to the club that does this, we will also do this. We will also get mood swings because we're connected. We're at one with the club. The club's happy, we're happy. Club's sad, we're sad. Bipolarism. We got to find a way in this chat, on this channel, to be happy when we win, be annoyed when we lose, but also understand the bigger picture and not be so emotionally, in my opinion, emotionally volatile. Emotionally volatile. The manager says he hates everybody, then he loves everybody. He wants to quit. He is already emotionally volatile. We, as a fan base, are that. We are toxic and we are emotional. We are. Let's be real. Let's be real, guys. So I think he's been truthful here. He's hitting home. He's hitting a point here that I think we could talk about, but we just need to understand and absorb, in my opinion. Anyway, we are approaching the end of the show. We're going to end on this De Ligt quote with regards to Amorim's system. De Ligt has said, in modern football, even if you play a back four, almost all teams play by building with 3 defenders, which is true. And we've heard this and we've spoken about this before. We play with 3 defenders. Most teams build with a back 3. Most teams have one of their defenders maybe inverting inwards into the midfield and making a back 3. Arsenal do it. Man City do it as well, right? So we just start how most teams develop, if that makes sense. He goes on to say, and we do often defend with 4 defenders, which is also true. One of the reasons why Dalot plays is so Dalot can get back as the 4th defender and allow Amad Diallo to continue holding that high line wide, and so on and so forth. Sometimes Amad will drop as a 4th defender and Dorgu will continue holding the high line on the left. We've seen that happen. So that is also true. He goes on to say, it's always easy to say system this, system that, but in the end, it's always adaptable in the game. And this leads on perfectly to my tactical analysis video, which will be out soon. The system is important, but the more these players understand the system, of course, it's easy to say, the better we will play. And I feel like the players are starting to understand it a little bit more. There's no situation where the system is always the same in the game. In that way of being flexible and in the structure, we have to find a way to get everything right and make everything, happen. So, De Ligt coming out there, backing the manager, saying, listen, the system is what it is. We need to do better as players, essentially. So that's that. Let me quickly read the chat before we wrap up, people. Big up the chat all day, every day. We are in the table currently is where we are in the table currently is where we finish, says TK. I think we are around 9th, maybe. I think we have a decent sample size. Next step for United is ironing out inconsistencies, says TK. I agree with that. Sausage says, if we kept Pogba and built around him, we'd have more silverware. Pogba was a proper baller, says Sausage Express. I agree. I always say that when we buy players, who are in certain systems and we see them flourish in certain systems, don't just drop them into a new system and expect them to flourish. I always say, listen, the best Pogba and the best Bruno are both with players behind them that they can trust, right? The best Pogba at Juventus played the left side here of a midfield 3. Pogba, Pirlo, Vidal. Let's not rewrite history. Pogba works in the midfield 3. He's got that security behind him of Vidal running around, doing whatever he's doing, and Pirlo. When Pogba came and he played with Matic and Herrera, especially that season for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, where we finished 2nd or 3rd, amazing. The minute you ask Pogba to play in the midfield too, without a Kante or without a runner beside him, like an old Matic, he didn't look too great. We didn't really build a team for Pogba, around Pogba, and we didn't play it to his strength. That is true. Yaya says, or Turkish says, the way Pogba was treated by the media and the fan base at the time still haunts me, especially with the wisdom and hindsight now. Turkish, we could have a whole show, a whole week's show about Pogba on this channel. I'm not going to lie. We could have. Yaya says, Pogba was good, but as for me, his attitude and ego was high. Says Yaya. Attitude and ego. I didn't really see too much attitude in Pogba. I think he played well for us. He played through injury. Time and time again, he played through injury. The only thing that Pogba wanted to do was leave, to go to Madrid or leave. Just like Bruno wants to leave. Just like Kobe wants to leave. I don't really see too many times his attitude was bad. His Areola came out and he said Pogba, wants to leave. He never said anything bad about the club. He wasn't like a Garnacho. He wasn't a Sancho. He didn't do anything like that. In my opinion. And his ego, he's one of the best footballers in the world. So his ego matches his talent, I think. In my opinion. His ego matches his talent. That's my opinion. True, but imagine the ego of Pogba and Mourinho ego. It was bad for... Yeah, I agree with that, Yaya. The Pogba and Mourinho thing was crazy, but that's where I'm like, do you know what? I'm glad we got rid of Mourinho. Because after we got rid of Mourinho, we still went on and won more trophies with Pogba in the team. Like, I know some people talk about player power, but sometimes I'm like, do you know what? The most important people in the team, the most important people in any football club are the players. Without the players, you don't have a football team. So I understand the talk about player power and all of these things, but I don't know. Anyway, guys, that is your topical stuff. That is your news. All the latest quotes, all the headlines that are coming out from the game on Sunday. That is most of the talking points. You've now heard what everyone else is talking about. Those were the most, or let's say the major topics that were coming out of the game on Sunday. So we've discussed all the important things. Big up the chat. Big up the community. What's this on the screen? Brian Mbumo has actually posted this himself. When you are comfortably sat in the Eurostar UK and someone goes, sorry, I think this is my spot. Big up Brian Mbumo. Listen, it's good that you can take the mickey out of yourself, yeah, and have a laugh at yourself, bro. Don't always take yourself too seriously. Big up Brian Mbumo. Great goal, man. On Sunday, Ahmad performance. Cunha did well. Mount was a bit quiet. But Mount was due a quiet game. That's Mount for you. I was really impressed by Luke Shaw and De Ligt once again. And anytime Isak, Mo Salah, even Ekitike, when he came on, whenever they tried to drop between the lines, between our midfield and our defence, whenever they tried to occupy those little half spaces, De Ligt, Luke Shaw, and even Maguire would be aggressive, and I liked their performance. I remember watching the game saying to you guys that I like what Shaw and De Ligt were doing. I really liked it. So good performance, guys. Good show. Big up everybody involved, everyone who jumped in. Look out for my video that will be released tonight as well. Big up Tim, TK, Sausage, Shivam, Turkish, Yaya. Big up Yaya. I hope you stay and come on and get involved with more shows. Yaya, big up yourself, my guy from Kenya. Do I stream daily? I used to stream daily when it was transfer news. Now I stream at least 3 times a week. So I said to my channel that I will stream definitely on a Monday, a Wednesday, and a Friday for sure, around 7:15-ish. Monday will be this sort of show where we wrap up the weekend. Wednesday will just be a news show, and Friday is usually a news show plus the match preview and reaction to the manager's pre-match press conference. Then we will do our watch along on the weekend or whenever the game is. We will do the match reaction afterwards, and then I will re-watch the game and I'll perform a tactical analysis of the game, which I have recorded today and will probably release tonight. So that is kind of what the shows are at the moment on this channel. I am working on other content. I'm working on shows with other people. I'm a new channel starting, as you guys can see, so I'm probably going to have a show with either one of you guys in the chat, maybe just one-on-one, chopping it up, talking everything and anything to do with Manchester United. So maybe one of you guys can jump in and do a show with me. And also I am working on a show with another content creator, an Arsenal fan, so it will be more of a rival show, rival chat maybe. So I'm working on other shows as the channel continues to grow with all of your amazing support. The community is a vibe. Once again, the Fantasy Premier League information is in the top left of your screen. I will on Wednesday have to have a conversation about the Fantasy Premier League. I know some of you guys are not interested, they're not involved, but enough of you guys now have joined the league. So we're going to have to look at the league and also revisit our predictions for the season. Because I honestly think Arsenal are going to win the Premier League, guys. And I will leave it there for you to mull over. Arsenal will win the Premier League. How do you feel about that? Nice show, people. Big up the channel. Big up the chat. Subscribe if you're new. Share the video with a friend if you can. Look out for my other videos. Big up the community. Thank you for your support. Don't forget, it is easier to love than it is to hate. Big up everybody. And I'll see you next time.